Well, without further ado, I will call to order the January 27th Select Board meeting.
Packet, do you have a packet with all the warrants and? Sorry, it's okay. No, I definitely have one in here. It's just a matter of-
And we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I hope everyone in town fared well through the 48 hours of snow. That seemed to not want to stop. I was driving through at 11 o'clock last night, it was still snowing.
It was brutal.
And I do appreciate the patience of folks. Our town crew was on the roads for all 48 hours trying to get out there, so they're still cleaning up. But it's such a long duration event with, 5 folks on the crew, and then your subcontractors, it's challenging to get everything done within 12 hours of the storm being done, so appreciate your patience.
And there is mandatory time off.
Yes, yeah,
They can only drive for so long before they have.
they can't drive for 36 hours straight?
Apparently.
Well, they're exempt from most DOT regulations.
Thank goodness.
We'll start with the approval of manifests.
All right.
It's just to be clear, there's a meeting minutes of 12:08 in there, but that's below. So it's just the accounts payable from
Okay.
January 21st and payroll for January 21st.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable for 1/21/2026 and payroll for 1/21/2026.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Should also just mention that Mr. Decker and Mr. Welch are both excused this evening.
Okay.
We scheduled our meeting from last night and not everybody could make it, so just to put that out there. Meeting minutes from January 8th, January 5th, January 12th for public and non-public for January 5th. I know the December 8th meeting minutes, we had a question and I know that you made the correction in there.
Great.
So line
34.
38 should read, there is now a hole that is spreading across the 3 parking lots and the fix is
Spots.
more.
Spots
Spots, yes.
instead of lots.
It's upside down. I don't think there's anything new, right?
Well, the January 5th meeting minutes, we actually can't approve because you weren't here.
Okay.
We don't have a quorum.
We don't have a quorum to approve those, unless you wanted to vote to approve, you could. And if you've had an opportunity to read through them.
I did not read through them, if you wanna.
So we've got December 8th and January 12th.
Oh, that was the workshop. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 8th, 2025, and with the correction on line 38, and the meeting minutes for the workshop for 1/12/2026.
Motion,
I'll second that motion.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Drag these minutes on.
BOS reports from assigned boards, committees.
I have not had time to catch up with Mr. Rollins,
I
just
don't
he's
think
obviously.
you want to.
Yeah,
No.
He's pretty busy
and,
and I was working all weekend myself, so we did not get caught up.
I have nothing from the master plan subcommittee.
Well, I have too much as usual. I'll start with the budget committee, that I'm the select board representative to. The budget committee did meet last week. They voted, to recommend all of the warrant articles. They did ask, if in the future the select board could have our vote in or our recommendations in for them. beforehand.
Okay.
I didn't see that there was a problem, just a timing issue, I
Yeah.
guess. We're meeting after them, so I didn't really think that that was a problem at all. I think they had a couple of things that they wanted me to. I just want to make sure that I've,
Timing is difficult because the petition warrant articles were due within the same week
yeah.
for their public hearing.
Right.
In other words, I'm sure that they understood or were made to understand that, it wasn't a deliberate, we didn't get to it, it was just a timing
Mhm.
issue. But in the future, they would like to have those before they vote. Let's see, there was a lot of discussion about the operating budget with recreation. There was a lot of discussion about the warrant article and the petition warrant article about the town beach, and it was voted to not recommend that by the budget committee. Budget committee. Next, the town facilities advisory committee met again last week, and we are preparing a slide presentation for deliberative session in order to explain to the public why we feel this is the time to get going on getting the police station updated and relocated to the fire station. And I think one of the most important parts is that we're asking for money. However, it's not to be raised from taxes. It would come from the general fund, so there'd be no tax impact. I think it's a nice presentation. A lot of people worked on it, including Ellen, the fire chief, the police chief, all of the facilities committee, and I'm hoping that we will persuade the public that it's time to start moving on this. I did send a message to Chief Fawn Woodman today. I'm the liaison to the police department, and she didn't get back to me. I think for obvious reasons. I imagine they've been quite busy too. I don't think there's any news other than that they've been very busy over the weekend. And finally, I did attend the new ballot box training at the counter and the training. Dawn picked me up the other day and invited me over, and I'm so glad I went. I hope all of the select board can, because it is different. And I think it's great. It's gonna have a lot of wonderful things about it, but the counter is quite different, and I do see the way that the voters interact with it, even the way they put their ballots in is a little different, and they have to look at a little message on the side of the ballot box too that tells them when they can put it in. So they're actually interacting with the ballot box. So I think it's gonna take a lot of us to stand there and make things run smoothly. And I would really hope that we could find the money somewhere to get that second ballot box. I think it's gonna be important, but I think it's gonna be a wonderful change.
So you think it's gonna slow things down? Is that-
I think this first time around it may, and I think we can probably do some educating. I mean, Dawn can really speak to that. Ultimately, it will speed things up and make things so much easier, especially at the end of the night for accuracy and for speed of counting. But I think initially people are just so used to, putting their ballots in a certain way and kind of turning away, and to have to take that extra second or two. I do think it's gonna be a little learning curve. So the more education we can do ahead of time, and maybe even put up some signage as people are coming in to realize, take a moment, it's a new type of ballot box, take a second, let us help you without being intrusive. And I think my impression was that Dawn was really counting on the select board and others to help out with that. And that is all.
Thank you. Ellen, the town administrator report.
Okay, mainly just announcements for upcoming important events here in Nottingham. The town deliberative session is going to be held this Saturday, January 31st, beginning at 9 o'clock. It will be held here in the community center gym. And in the event of inclement weather and we have to postpone deliberative session, which it is the call of the moderator, is that correct, Dawn?
To postpone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the decision of the moderator. We're gonna hope for good weather. If we do have to postpone, we have to hold the session within 72 hours from the original schedule. So I think in the past, we've advertised it for the following Saturday, but we have it tentatively scheduled for Monday, February 2nd, and that will be at 6:30 p.m.
I think it might be like between town meeting and SB too, cause I think it always was a week later and then.
And then we
along,
changed
I was
it.
like, wait,
I
it
did
says
not know that.
72.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I looked at the RSA and ran it by Dawn, so I made that correction on the website, cause I think I even had it on there for a postponement date of February sixth, so that correction has been posted. But again, we're gonna hope for good weather on Saturday and everything will go off without a hitch. Candidates must file for elected offices by this Friday, January 30th. The town clerk's office is open special hours on Friday from 3 to 5, only for the purpose of accepting anybody that wants to last minute file. We are actively seeking a candidate for the tax collector position, as Tracy Black is not seeking reelection. That is one position that doesn't have any candidates on it at the moment. And as well, there are open budget committee seats, and only one of the 2 select board seats has a candidate. So if anybody is out there interested in running for town office, now is your opportunity. Couple more days. The supervisors of the checklist will hold 2 additional sessions for new voter registrations and checklist corrections. Those will be on January 29th and February 28th from 10 to 12. And I believe they will also be accepting new voter registrations on town election day. The town warrant, the MS 737, which is the operating budget as recommended by the budget committee, and the MS DTB, which is the default budget, are all posted at the town office, the Nottingham and West Nottingham post offices, and they're also available on the town website as required. And lastly, the Nottingham Fire Rescue is sponsoring a blood drive this Friday from 11 to 3:30 here in the community center gym. It is through the American Red Cross, so any signups need to be done through that organization, but there is a link on the town's website. I think that's about it for announcements right now. We have a list of action items tonight. Obviously, because we weren't able to meet yesterday because of the storm, we had to go through and make some provisions to get the town warrant and the default budget posted as required. So that required a little bit of a virtual consent with electronic signatures. So you'll be formalizing vote for that, as well as on the default budget. You'll have warrant articles to assign for whoever would like to speak to them at deliberative session. There is a 457B plan amendment, and it's related to Roth IRA contributions. And that is in your signature file if you've been through that or not. And then we have a tax map maintenance contract with CAI Technologies, who updates the town tax maps and the GIS system on the town's website. That is an annual contract renewal, so that's in there for execution. And outside of that, I feel like I can go through the general correspondence. Most of which, I'm not sure there's a lot of email that is now coming into the BOSPC account. A lot of it has to do with town clerk or other related function that we usually just circulate off to the respective department, and I don't bog down your meeting with going through it. Just a couple that were identified as requiring some type of an action either on your part or my part. Eric Keyser had emailed on, I'm sorry, it might be Kaiser. He had emailed on January 7th. He had some emails regarding poor winter road maintenance, which I have to address with Steve Rollins. Unfortunately, his kind of went under the radar, and I don't think that Nancy or I had a chance to get to respond to him or even address it with Steve. So I am following up on that. Kelly Dallaire had emailed on January 8th. The Facilities Assessment Advisory Committee meetings, they have not turned any meeting minutes in. So I think the last set that I had posted on the website were from October 10th. So I've requested those from Gary Anderson, the chair, and I believe he's working on those, and the committee's catching up on approval of those minutes. January 9th, 2026, TJ Talbot, he had just requested to be added to the town's business directory, which we don't have one, so I responded to that. Joel Lederman, founder of All About Town. This is a young entrepreneur. He has created an email or a software that will help with AI generated minutes from video recordings. He actually gave us a set of minutes from Marblehead that his software used to create the minutes. They're actually pretty good. I think you'll find that a lot of the AI softwares now, like Gemini and Copilot, will do something very similar. I don't think we're quite there yet. We still do have a recording transcriptionist watching these meetings and doing them verbatim, which is great. But if we ever do move in that direction, that's an option for us to look into. And then on January 20th, Harry Bellato had emailed with a question regarding our policy for building on a private road or class 6 road. It was really pertaining to dates of grandfathering. I wasn't here when the policy was adopted, and I referenced back to the minutes to see if I could find out any information. It was very vague in the minutes, so I reached out to Donna Danis, who was on the select board at the time, to see if she could have any history, and she provided me with just enough to kind of figure out the reasoning behind his question for the dates. So I was able to provide him a response on that later this afternoon. Additionally, the rest of the general and other correspondence is related to RSA 91A requests that came in from Doug Bates on January 5th. And then we've had several ongoing communications with Jay Vilchok. I believe everything has been responded to or is pending fulfillment at this point. I think I only have one request that is open and outstanding, which I hope to have fulfilled by the beginning of next week, but there was an email requesting clarification on a statement that I had provided, and I didn't know, I responded additionally, but what he's really looking for is confirmation that what I've given in a statement is true and accurate. And I just didn't know if you wanted to add anything to that I could provide to him in writing. And I did include a copy of the email in case, but specifically what he's looking for is that the information provided by Ms. White is fully accurate and complete, that no positive drug screening results have been omitted, misrepresented, or disregarded, that the town has verified its record to confirm the above, and that the town can affirmatively demonstrate that it is not the source of the discrepancy between the official statement and a first-hand account.
I would say that I could confirm that what you have said is 100% true and accurate.
Okay.
Do we have to say anything else? No.
Again, that's,
Hopefully that's enough.
I don't know what else to say,
I
but
don't know
yeah,
what else to
it's
say either,
accurate,
other
so.
than call the ombudsman.
Okay.
I bring it up as new business, just about maybe talking to somebody at the state about this plethora of frivolous and perhaps even harassing 91As. Starting to look it up a little bit today, and I think there's an ombudsman who works both ways. I mean, I believe very strongly in these sunshine laws and right to know laws, and that's why it's particularly onerous when I feel someone is misusing them. I've expressed to you how I feel that that's taken away from your ability to be able to help me be a better select person because of the time and the really taxpayer money and time that's being used on what I now consider 2 years or so of frivolous and harassing 91A requests. So nobody else wants to tackle that baby, but I'd be happy to look into that.
And I would like to add that I have had to consult with legal on a few of them because there has been question of, whether certain documents requested can be releasable.
Yeah, it's been very
And I would
time
rather err
consuming.
on the side of caution where 91A is more developed around erring on the side of giving everything
Well,
for transparent government, which I totally agree with.
I've
but-
seen all of your answers. I mean, they're extremely professional, they're timely, they're complete.
Certain
Done a
things
good
are
job.
government record and certain things aren't, so.
I think you've met all the demands, more so.
No desire to spend more time on that.
Outside of that, I just have a few non-public sessions for later.
We've got a couple of assessing items. I believe on the agenda, there's items that are left from prior agenda?
Well, I think
Those
the way that I
all
have
for
it
the same
listed,
one?
they're all
For the same map?
Yep.
For, the same
the
subject?
same group,
Okay.
but common ownership.
Okay. So we get a certification of yield taxes assessed and warrant for yield tax levy.
Alright,
Good try.
so I was just looking at it, so all four?
Yes,
Are all the same party.
Or you're saying 1, 2, 3, yeah,
Three.
okay.
they're all
Or
grouped together on
Okay.
1 intent and
Alright, I'm making a motion to approve the certification of yield taxes assessed for map 66, lot 3 and 4, map 64, lot 1A, and map 65, lot 3.
I will second that.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I will now make a motion for the warrant for yield tax levy for map 66, lot 3 and 4, map 64, lot 1A, and map 65, lot 3.
Second that.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Before we get to our 7 o'clock appointment, Ellen, how would you like that we address the default budget town warrant signature? Because we don't have a quorum here, but we signed it yesterday as a,
well, you do have a quorum here,
I mean, I'm sorry, but everybody that signed it is not here.
correct? But I think probably just acknowledging that there was a full board of 5 that signed it electronically, which acknowledges through consent the approval of
Okay,
both the default budget and the town warrant.
and do we need to make a motion and vote on it?
I
or-
think we probably should have a motion on file,
Okay.
at least in the minutes record, and that way we can at least show that majority voted.
Okay.
What do I say that? Yeah,
Something else.
because it's just
It's a motion to approve the MSDTB for the default and the MS 737 for the town warrants.
Nope, the 737 is a budget committee, so
I'm
it's
sorry.
just the town warrant.
Okay.
just the town warrant as presented, town warrant. That's what I was like,
know.
usually there's like a
Right.
What
word.
is the
I was
verbiage?
afraid so I say it correctly. I'll make a motion to put on record that we approved on 1/26, the MSDTB default budget.
I second that.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye. And I'll make an additional motion to put on record that we approve the town warrants as posted on 1/26.
I will second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye. We quickly make you the 457 Bravo dude? Or do we have to make a motion or just sign it?
I think you have to make a motion to allow me to sign the document. So
Which one?
this is to allow for the Roth catch-up contribution provision in the 457 plan, which is part of the Secure Act 2.0 provisions the government put forth 4 years ago that are finally being implemented before more changes get implemented, so the IRS moves slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much help over there now.
So we just need a motion to allow me to be a signator on the plan amendment to allow for that change.
Okay.
Which,
Through formal resolution.
right, it's a formal resolution, but I would say that we don't have to, but it makes sense so that people can make their catch-up contributions. And number one, and number two, that the deed Roth contribution.
So,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'll make a motion to adopt formal record of action for the 457 Bravo plan amendment. And part of that act of addendum will authorize Tim as chair to execute.
Good, I second that motion, Matt.
I can read well.
Get a motion, I was like, wow, that was really good.
Did good.
Motion and a second,
Second
all in
it.
favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'm in awe.
We got 3 seconds. Do we have to talk much about this? tax map maintenance contract with CAI, or is it a continuation?
It is a
of-
continuation of previous contracts. They've been doing it ever since they took over our map maintenance in the,
Is that a period of time, or is it a yearly?
it's for 1 year. It starts April 1st so it's map updates from April 1st through the following March 31st, because that's how the tax year rolls.
It was 4,000 something.
Yes. It's two parts, so it's the GIS map maintenance, the GIS online software, and then it's the actual tax map maintenance for new subdivisions, boundary line adjustments, et cetera, et cetera.
I'll make a motion to execute the tax map maintenance contract with CAI Technologies.
And I'll second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Look at that, we are 2 minutes early. Mr. Santos, are you prepared? Would you like to come up and present?
So Neil Santos, 63 Shore Drive, and my wife Carmen, who's going to be the page turner.
All right.
Is it?
Penguins, that's very suitable for the day. Haven't seen any on the lake, but you never know. All right.
Soon. Soon.
Not kidding. Okay, so I was here in the fall with some preliminary data about the situation with milfoil on the lake and our plans to go forward looking for a grant to help mitigate the milfoil and also request town funds. I'm back to tell you we have the facts and figures. We have a plan to go ahead, and I'm here to make a formal request for release of funds from the town board from the Invasive Species Reserve Fund. So just, Charlotte, I don't think you were here in the fall, so just a quick recap. This is our history of milfoil extractions on the lake. This was our big year. You stack the bars together, it comes up to over 700 gallons. That's when we did the Procellacor treatment on the lake. Last year was a quiet year, but this year, you can see we did extract quite a bit, but we have a problem still in the lake that's looming that we need to deal with. So here's the milfoil we found, the locations we found this year. All this stuff down here on the south end of the lake is stuff we've been fighting for years. We extract, we find, we extract, so forth. The big news is up here in the Fundy area, where we have found, we had milfoil up here in Town Beach Cove a couple of years ago, but all this stuff down here, over here, and particularly up toward the boat launch is all new this summer and very troubling. So that's this is that area to the northern end of the map. And public boat launch is up there, just off the map. Town Beach is here, Drowns Dam, right there, I can't reach it, but right there. And most of this stuff, this over here, all this over here, this down here, and particularly over here, is all new as of this past year. And the difficulty with this area is it's shallow, 2, 3, 4 feet deep. It's silty, 1 to 2 feet of silt, and is highly covered with lily pads, all of which means several things. It's difficult for divers to locate and extract the milfoil. It's easy for milfoil to grow because it's shallow and silty and good rooting. And the lily pads also give great structure, so it's a very popular area with the fishermen. They come down from the boat launch, come into this area, fish here quite heavily. So it makes it a nightmare to try to deal with the milfoil up in that area. And it's a major traffic channel. So as boats come through this traffic area, through this area here with their traffic, chop up the weeds, spread them around. So I suspect even though we haven't found milfoil any further here, my guess is this whole area and up toward the boat launch, if it's not already infested, it will be this year, this summer, this coming summer. So here's what we did. September 1st, the New Hampshire DES did a survey of the lake to complement what we already had told them about where to find milfoil. We put in a grant request on September 15th. We met with NHDES to make sure we were all of a like mind as to what milfoil was there and what should be done about it. And on November 10th, the DES produced some treatment maps and sent us those maps to send out to request bids for treatment. I'll show you those maps on the next well. The supplier bids were due back to New Hampshire DES December 15th. And on December 31st, we received the confirmation that we received the grant and the what bids were selected among the ones we sent out from New Hampshire DES. And January, here I am, we're talking about additional grant requests. So here's the maps that they sent out, and they can be a little confusing. So what they sent me back were recommendations as to what should be done. They said, here's the map for treatment with Procelicor. Here's the map for treatment with hand pulling, dash or hand pulling. And if you can't read this on this chart, maybe the copies you have, you can read it. But over here it says, send out at least 2 bids and for 150 acres of treatment with Procelicor. Now, if you add up all the numbers that are here, it comes to 385 acres. Well, they're saying bid for 150, but the map shows 385. The reason for that is permits for Procelicor take a long time to move through the mill and get approved. So what DES says is we will make a maximum map. We know that we won't recommend treatment in anything other than all these areas, and it'll be some subset of this areas. We can't enlarge it once the permits come through, we can shrink it. So 150 of these 385 acres is slated for treatment. Which ones will be determined with a final survey this spring. And my opinion is it'll be all up in Area A. So 150 acres, Area A is really 231 acres, but 150 of those acres will get treated with Procelicor. They also said, send out bids for dash or hand pulling, diver hand pulling. And these are the places where it might occur. And they said, send out for 20 days worth of hand pulling. So the strategy is we treat the densest, hardest to pull areas with Procelicor, and we'll deal with all the other areas with divers. So 2-step process. Typically, the Procelicor comes first, and then we see what's left, and then we direct the divers to go to those areas where there's still milfoil. Okay, is that clear? Okay. They asked us for 2 bids for Procelicor and 2 bids for divers. Well, the sheet they sent me, there are only 2 companies that do Procelicor treatment, so no choice. There were only 3 companies that do dash or hand harvesting, so I said, why not? Let me send out bids for all 3 companies. And DES selected the bids, the lowest bidder presumably. And the bid for Procelicor 150-acre treatment was $119,000 plus. Hand pulling, 20 days of hand pulling, $25,600. Total of $144,685. So when I was here last October, I told you I thought maybe 50 acres should be treated. DES didn't agree with that. They believe it's a better strategy to treat a larger amount right now because if you don't encompass the large infestation, it's just you're going to be playing whack-a-mole. So it's better to try to get as much as you can rather than just treat little areas and have to keep coming back and coming back. So their estimate was much larger than my estimate when I came here in the fall. So 150 acres, 20 days of diving. So total cost from the previous chart, we got a 50% grant. When you, the first time you get a grant from DES, it's 100%. 2023, they paid 100% of the cost of treatment. After that, it's some number, 50% or less. There are 55 lakes in New Hampshire that requested grant for invasive species. We were obviously one of those, and they were able to give 50%, presumably to every lake. And that's the way I understand it works. We got a 50% grant, so $72,000. The PLIA has been putting money aside, just as the town has, and we feel that we can contribute $15,000 from money that we've set aside for this treatment. Making a formal request here to the select board for $40,000 to be released from the invasive species reserve fund this coming summer. That, if you approve that, we need still another $17,000 plus to close the budget numbers. So what have we done? Well, we've gone to the Lamprey River Advisory Committee for a grant. That max is $7,500. We have filed a grant with them. We've gone to Sig Sawyer, and that was recommended by the Fish and Game Commissioner for Rockingham County. They have a grant program. Sig Sawyer wouldn't sound like it fits, but apparently it does. So we've put in a grant file requesting $2,500. We went to New Hampshire Fish and Game, we met with the commissioner, and we have gotten a formal denial. They just pointed us to DES. That's their purview, go to DES. We feel that they have a stake in it because they run the launch at Elpin Funding. And a lot of the boat traffic comes into the lake from that launch. But they decided that, it's DES's purview. We have trying to schedule a meeting with New Hampshire State Parks. We haven't got a meeting date yet because we're kind of unique in this state. The state park is 50% of the shoreline of this lake. There is no other lake in New Hampshire that has anywhere near that amount of percentage of shoreline that's owned by the state. So we think they're a stakeholder and they ought to contribute. Clearly, if milfoil becomes a real problem on this lake, that's going to impact the state park and state park revenues and so forth and so on. So we have a meeting with them and we'll see where that goes. We're also meeting with the Nottingham Conservation Commission on February 9th. Let's talk to them to see if we can convince them that they are a stakeholder and should release some of their funds as well. So what happens this spring? Late spring, the DES conducts a final survey to pick what areas out of those maps that are to be treated or extracted from. The Purcell core treatment will probably occur late June, early July. And after that would be the divers coming in to extract the less dense, non-treated areas. And then in July or August, sometime after all this occurs, there'll be surveys of the treated areas to assess how good it was, maybe finish up some hand dash or handwork. And of course, we have our own volunteers on the lake that, continue to do the volunteer extraction and searching. So I think that was it, right? So put a formal request in front of the select board for the release of the funds, $40,000 to help us meet the needs of the lake for Purcell treatment and dash.
And just to be clear, when you came last fall,
Yes.
because I've heard rumors that the lake is gonna be a little bit lower for a couple of years.
Probably 2028.
Right, and I think we had asked about whether or not you can, that's a better time to basically, because the
Yeah,
lake's down, and you had said that that's really not a great way to remove it.
I had asked that question specifically of New Hampshire DES, Amy Smagula, a name that some of you might know. And she said the roots of milfoil can last up to 2 years without water. So it's not going to be a help. And I've gotten a lot of those questions from lake residents as well. And she said, no. And she said, just thinking, even if you thought it would help, waiting 2 years without really doing anything substantial
make it worse.
would just, amplify the problem. Yeah.
It answered my question. Too bad, I thought it would help.
Yeah, we get asked the question all the time. They do the draw down the lake a little bit, 4 or 5 feet in the fall, which exposes some of the milfoil. I've been out there and looked, and first of all, you can't find it. Second of all, even freezing ground.
But you mean you can't find it because it's really difficult to see?
Oh, yeah, it's difficult to see. Yes, yeah. I deliberately left some in the lake where I knew where it was, and when the lake goes down, all the other vegetation just kind of all falls in. And it's not bright green anymore, and it's still green, but you can't see it. So you can't even walk around and pull it out, but it won't die at this point. It'll just come back in the springtime. So I don't know how the board wants to approach this, when you would take a vote or how all the mechanics work, but we'd like to, formally ask for the $40,000 release of the funds.
What's the current fund balance?
$177,233 in interest accruing.
It's in a CD right now, right?
A portion of it, half of it's in there. It's like 88,600 is in a CD, 88,633 is
Free.
available. But the CDs are 6 months at a whack anyway,
Yeah.
so
No.
very short.
So do you need our approval now, or do you want to continue to, let's say that your fundraising efforts don't go as planned.
Yes.
And then there's that $17,000 gap, and then you're back for more, which apparently we have in the fund. It would just seem like you show up in March or April and say, I've already shown you what I'm gonna be roughly requesting.
Yep.
This is where we're at, and then we just, to me, that seems like, I mean, I hear you.
Okay, I'll let Tom.
Go ahead.
Tom Duffy, 28 Tuckaway Shores Road, president of the PLIA.
Could you just step up to the,
Yeah.
because people can't hear on,
Oh, yeah,
I
He's
guess,
actually
sorry.
up there,
You
so.
can see that here. Tom Duffy, 28 Tuckaway Shores Road. Sorry, I have a cold, that's why I'm masked. I'm currently the president of the PLIA. We think that if we have, our strategy has been that if we have commitments from ourselves and these others, it's leverage. And it's almost like the other people will see that everybody has a stake in this and really should come forth. It becomes a group, a team effort, if you will, rather than, oh, they've got the money, let them do it. And usually when, we don't have to do it here, but usually when we pitch it, we kind of make people feel responsible, because they are. If they have anything to do with conservation in the town, anything to do with clean water, anything to do with parks and recreation, they're really trying to improve that for everyone. And so we're hoping that we can get this money from these other sources. In addition to Sig Sauer, Fish and Game gave us a couple of other interesting ideas. Manufacturers of fishing equipment, for example, that have foundations and so forth. So this is an ongoing management situation. We've been doing it for 10 years. We've paid for most of it, except for the last couple of years. And so we just think it's best if everybody throws some in the pot.
So to clarify, Tom, you feel very certain you'll be able to meet this and would rather have the approval for the 40,000 now rather than waiting to see if
Yes.
you need more?
Yes, because we'll say, well, because people will say, well, what about the town? We'll say, well, the town's in.
Yep.
You guys, yeah, we're in. We've raised money for it already. And we keep going on down the line as we have. And I think people feel more obligated to do so when that happens.
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
I think they do. I don't know. Do they?
No, but it sounds like a good strategy to me.
To your question, is, let's say we can't close it. Let's say you do approve the 40,000, but we're still, we don't get anything, we're 17,000 short. It's gonna be a negotiation with DES. So we'll say, we're short, what do you recommend? What are the highest priority areas? So they'll shrink the half, they'll take half of that back and we'll take half of that back and we'll meet in the middle. So it's not an all or nothing thing. It's not like we're doing deficit financing or something like that. We will meet the budget, hopefully the full budget, but we can meet a reduced budget if we have to.
We've got to do something.
It seems like you're going through the plan and you've received funds from the state instead of like cutting it for $7,000. We apparently have the money. I was saying like, we'll provide our commitment for, once we vote, we will say like, we'll provide our assurance for the 40,000 withdrawal, because right, we hold the funds, but really you guys are the ones telling us where to spend the money. But we're here for the rest of it too. So I mean, you can tell people that we're in for the 40,000, but instead of just, it just seems to me like we're just doing it.
They would want a formal commitment where the town, they can say the town is committed up to, and I would say we'd say up to $40,000, so maybe you can get more than 17 and the town wouldn't have to give them.
Yeah, I
Be a
think we
nice
should
precedent
put
to
while
set
we're ahead
if everyone were
for the
involved.
40.
Right.
Yeah.
If there were more groups involved.
And
more
I'm fine with
stakeholders.
that.
Yeah, no, I get the strategy.
The other part of it is, if we don't have a commitment from the town to reduce funds, and we go to these other folks, they're gonna say, well, you've got a $50,000 gap, this is not gonna work, because we can't give you that kind of money.
Right.
So that's why I'd like to get a commitment from the town.
No, I mean, that's what the fund is for. It's not like we're gonna do something else with it.
But you want as many stakeholders in there as you can. because-
We have heard in the
Right.
past that, why does the town keep putting money in? Because nobody ever asked for it. Well, here we are,
Yep.
we need it, and we're asking.
You remember the hearings we had with the state park, when the ARPA funds and all that, and they wanted to put in the campsites?
Yep.
And Pete held their feet to the fire about how their septic systems don't work and their showers don't work and what a mess. And they listened.
Yeah.
So they're in,
Yeah.
you know, I think that
That
they'll
was awesome.
participate in some way.
That was really great.
That was
Yeah.
quite the expansion they'd originally proposed, so.
Yeah, that was really,
The new bathhouses are nice, it really is.
we'll take a look.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So with that being said, I mean, any discussion,
What's the name of the actual fund?
the
It
invasive.
is the Invasive Species Prevention and Eradication Removal Expendable Trust. If you need to reference it, it's Article 21. Because we are planning to add more in.
Where is it? I
Alright.
need making a motion workshop.
Yeah,
Thank you, man.
alright, I'll make a motion to approve up to $40,000 from the Invasive Species Expendable Trust Fund for the purpose of treating milfoil in Pawtuckaway Lake in 2026.
Most definitely second that.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there we go, we're all set. Nice presentation.
Yep.
Good luck.
And thanks for doing what you do to keep the resource viable.
Thank you.
Anytime you wanna come out on the dash boat and
Ooh, that would
pull
be fun.
weeds.
Full weeds.
Oh,
How's that shoulder going?
not the cocktail time.
I'll be on that boat.
I took Ben out a couple of years ago, and it was quite an eye-opening experience for him. So if any of you wanna go out and take a look, we'll glad to
I'd
take you
love
around.
to.
I can show you what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Sign me up,
Oh, sure, okay.
even without the cocktails. Thank you.
These guys' devotion to this has just
I
been
know.
mind blowing.
Well, your expertise and your hard work, we're really fortunate.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.
Thanks again for coming in, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, there's some exciting things we'll be talking about, so you don't have to leave now.
Give them money and then just leave.
Right.
I did find it.
Feels like my kids.
Just like the kids.
Come join us.
So back to general business, so we've gone over the budget and warrant articles review and recommendations, so I think we're all set there. But we do have to prep for this wonderful event that we've got coming up on Saturday.
Do we have a list in my list? I just haven't looked deep enough. There it is.
Oh, right here.
We approve that. This is what we're talking about.
So, I think just a reminder, because this is your first year, Charlotte, I think,
Yes,
as part of the
yes, it is.
deliberative. So typically what we try to do is have a select board member responsible for, presenting, reading, or if actually it's read by the moderator, but explaining it. And then a lot of these warrant articles are gonna be, I would imagine, for example, Chief Woodman's gonna come up and speak to the warrant article.
We do
for-
have a plan.
Right, I'm sure you do. So that might be one that you'd be
We're gonna
responsible for,
limit her,
Mr.
though.
Decker would be responsible. Yeah. So we're here to kind of break out those warrant articles and figure out who wants to speak to each one to introduce it.
I could just find my list.
First 2, 3 zoning. So zoning articles, they can't be amended, so typically we don't really just blaze over those.
Is anybody gonna be there to help explain it if need be?
One year I think Ed was there to explain them, and at the time John Scruton's like, nope, we don't need to do those, they can't amend them. So really the purpose of deliberative
Prescribed, really.
is just to amend,
Okay.
because technically
So there's
we're
nothing that
not.
can be done anyway.
There's nothing that can be done, so I certainly don't mind if planning board does wanna say something or zoning board, but they can't be amended, so really we're charged with, moving or not even, only moving amendments, not.
And I think I made it clear in the warrant that it was only to discuss Articles 10 forward for deliberative session. Yeah, so this session shall consist of explanation, discussion, deliberation of the warrant articles number 9 through 25.
Yes. Yep.
So I'm happy to approach Article 9, I'll start it off fresh.
This is the budget, 9.
Yes, the operating budget, yeah.
Numbers guy. Just gonna know that.
I assume the budget committee will wanna give a little snapshot, or you wanna do that, they generally give a little
I
We
think
don't do
it's
line by
generally the
line.
budget committee that
It is-
addresses it, but if.
That's why I offered.
Plan,
Select
yeah.
And I am planning on doing a PowerPoint presentation again, so I'll pull
Okay.
together whatever information, like if there's expendable trust funds or capital reserves, have those balances on hand, but I believe Owen as chair last year created a couple of slides just to overview that.
Yeah.
So I'll double
And
check.
again,
And some
it-
talking points he
Yes,
shared.
I think I think we're finally starting to navigate away from town meeting, we could amend lines. Deliberative, we cannot. We can certainly stand up and say, we wanna amend the budget by $10,000 and express why, but we can only amend the bottom line, so we no longer do a line by line, we just, but Owen just kinda gives a little
Those were long
snippets of.
days.
Yes, those were very long days.
Okay, so the budget committee will be presenting
Is
Article
there
9.
yeah,
No,
actually,
Tim, you are, you know, I put you on there.
you could, yeah.
Well, you'll be there too, filling in
Pop-
Moral
town,
support.
town part of it, how we got there and how we're holding to what.
Sorry, you know what, I just wanted, I do think I've got his notes here, which aren't perfect by any means, but I just have the one copy I'm happy to share. But I think he started out really well by everything I've seen written always seems to start with the operating budget being at 7 whatever percent and all. And I don't know if that's proscribed language or not, but he's hitting them with the total tax impact of 2.6% first.
For all warrants.
For both,
Right.
yeah, the operating budget and the warrants. And he compares that to the annual inflation rate of 2.7, which I think is smart, but I don't know if we want to take a look at that. or not.
Yeah, that's for their town report, right?
Yeah.
I believe
and who's
Article
gonna use
9
that.
is one that's prescribed by law.
I'm sorry?
I believe Article 9 is one that's prescribed by law, the wording of it, I don't think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
his talking point.
But the talking point is just, it seems like everything I've seen has been, and the operating budget came in at 7.9, everybody goes, 7.9, that's not 4%. You know, people just shut down after that.
Right.
So again,
Smart.
strategy.
Strategy, smart.
Oh, it's a strategy, that's all I have.
I think the the per 100,000 is also a helpful slide that he's had before, so
Yeah.
people can understand, cause
How
these
much it
numbers look
impacts.
huge, but when you break
Right.
it down to that,
Right.
yeah. So
Okay, so that's
10
gonna
is
be-
police, engineering, police department, will that be you, Miss Charlotte?
Actually, I don't know how this works. Eric Danis has a whole spiel that he'd like to present.
So he's the chair of the
His
facilities.
assessment committee.
No, he's not actually, he's a member.
Oh, he's a member, okay.
Gary,
Oh, Gary.
Gary is.
That's fine.
But he has a spiel and we have this little slideshow.
Okay, perfect. So I'm
As
just
long as
gonna
that's okay.
say, Eric Danis assisted by Charlotte.
And I think we're planning on Fawn speaking for a moment, and I just said we should have a few people in backup to
Okay.
speak that aren't necessarily police officers, but.
So he is the facility,
It's Facility Assessment
that-
Advisory Committee,
Member.
FAAC.
I'm sure Gary Anderson would speak, I hope other people will feel compelled to support that.
Assessment Advisory Committee, okay. Again, we've tried to keep things to 5 minutes if we can, those presentations, and not go on too long.
But we will probably wanna put after that presentation on the town website, so if people have questions why, we might have this.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If we're trying to limit to 5,
Yeah.
the PDF, put that out there like this is the this is
Yeah, if I
what we're
get it
doing.
ahead of time, I'll post it with the deliberative session link so people can look at it as they're streaming
Okay.
from their couch.
And certainly I don't hold presenters to that, you know, we just.
Well,
I'll get it.
Move it along, right?
Yeah, be
no.
cognizant.
I'm with you.
The Police Technology Equipment Expendable Trust Fund, number 11. Charlotte, you wanna do that one?
Sure.
So this has a slideshow. 10 has slideshow. oh, we got a lot of police, revolving police detail, I don't wanna keep making.
Yeah.
Departments together this year instead
You
of.
did, of spreading them around, that's pretty smart.
Well, I think before it was like departments and then it was like capital reserves and expendable trust funds and then like everything else.
Let's give it the departments.
Do you have anything specific for those, just a few words, you're gonna say on 11 and 12, I assume, no slideshows, no talking pony show, okay,
Just short and sweet, right?
perfect, okay.
I think unless anybody wants me to do more, and believe me, no one here does.
13 fire vehicles, that you, Matt?
Nope, that's
That
John.
would be John.
John now, alright, John Decker. Same again, 14, John Decker. Any presentation that you know of for either of those, or?
No, nothing new coming, just slowly maintaining the funds. She'll probably say what the current balance is and then what our next expenditure is.
Yeah, I think they're doing the compressor replacement this upcoming. So we're pretty much replenishing what
For the
that-
SCBA one, but for the truck one, it'll be like we're 5 years out from X truck or something like that.
Okay. Reconstructing, 15, reconstruction paving existing parking lot, the library, who's on?
Does the library have a plan? Do they wanna present something?
They probably should.
I thought they usually did.
Yeah,
I mean-
we could probably defer it to the library trustees. I could see if Jen Phillips wants to be.
If not one of those things, just like a quick thing, nothing, like, it'll be like, hey, we're
Yeah.
thinking 2 phases, we're gonna pave this one and put up lights. That's it.
She's library trustee, right?
Yeah.
Trustee. Is there a board of selectmen, just in case she is not planning to attend or present?
I think John would probably, because he heard most of the presentation through the CIP committee. I don't mean to
That's
like
true.
volunteer him, but
Sure.
done.
That's what happens when you're not here. You get voluntold.
That's all I heard, John.
Yeah, the CIP committee, they went into very extensive discussions on that, so.
Road reconstruction,
Add
that's you. Okay. Anything extensive on that?
No,
Nope.
you're gonna have pictures roughly of the areas we're looking to do.
Okay.
It'll be just, this is, we're extending onto here, but won't be. And just for that, can we have a overhead of some type of road of Ledge Farm showing from where to where you're going, so like it'll, okay, some large overhead map,
17 you too, Matt?
sure.
Town building maintenance and repair expendable trust fund.
I can take that one,
Yeah, good.
since I can't do 9.
I mean, you can.
You
That's
could
no, that's
shuffle in behind.
19 general assistance expendable fund.
I can take that one too.
Okay. Reevaluation taxes, so tax assessing, I see, reevaluation, do you wanna give Steve something? Or is this somebody, I don't know who's, you guys kind of have committees that you.
Did you opt in to talk on the reval, Tim?
What's that?
Did you opt in on the reval one? I wrote your name down probably too.
Yeah, I can do that one too.
Tim? Okay.
I just kept throwing Tim down for all the generic ones.
Don't forget Steve.
I know, I was like, you're leaving Steve off.
Steve.
He can talk to 22, the elderly exemption.
Ouch.
I did all the work for
him. 21 invasive species.
Should probably be John.
John, yeah. Yes, he's been the liaison to that too. Elderly exemption, we'll put Steve.
Yeah, he could be 22 and 23
Okay.
and 24.
Steve.
You're welcome, Steve.
Oh, backside, backside.
That's fun.
And then 25 would be the citizen that petitioned that warrant article, right?
And there was, I'm not really sure who to defer that to because there were so many pages in different format with the same language, like I don't know who the original, usually you go by like the first signature, but I think we erred on that.
I obviously will
Perhaps last
recuse
year.
myself at town meeting, so normally I would ask you who wrote those citizens articles and reach out. I don't know if I should ask Bonnie to, or just reach out and have them me or Pete with the assistance, but I guess I could reach out and just ask who will be presenting, if anyone wants to speak to it.
Okay. I can find it, I think that one was turned into the town clerk's office, so I can check the logbook and see who.
It was Maureen Confield, because I
It was.
happen to have been in the town office. Yes.
Okay.
I don't mind reaching out, I just don't want her to. Just wanna ask her if she has any presentation or anything she wants to.
And if that question's gonna be asked, Friday's the deadline, like Friday morning, maybe Thursday afternoon,
For,
any type of presentation, cause I should probably add it all into one slideshow, so we're not going
Oh,
back
yeah.
and forth in
Yes.
presentations,
Don't
that would just be a
typically-
nightmare.
allow citizen petition without. And if they have like a simple chart or something like
Yeah.
that, but we don't typically, not that we,
Do a whole dog and pony show, right?
yes, and if it does, it needs to come to the moderator first for
Okay.
approval, so again, I would defer that to someone else.
Okay, and I do have, I will forward to you, we do have a legal letter.
Yep.
From a review, it was very basic, it wasn't what we've received from prior council.
Okay.
Going through each individual article, but very specifically on this one.
Okay.
Noting some. I can't even really, you know, there's certain things that were left undefined that would be required for it to move forward. So I'll make sure that I get a copy of that to you and I have to post it to the
Okay.
website as well.
Perfect. The intent, I think it's always important just to like be cognizant on each article of like what the pure intent is, because we can't change the intent, which I find it insane when we can zero something out, because in my mind you are changing the intent, but just as we move, I think most of these are funds, probably prescribed by law.
Yeah.
Majority of these, but that one in particular, we may wanna.
Do we know who will be here from Drummond Woodson?
Yes, it will be Autumn Kish. She does a lot of their school board meetings, but she's also stepped in and done town
Okay.
deliberative
Kish,
sessions as well.
K-I-
Kish.
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 It's as easy as it sounds. Alright. I did hear the blood drive, what time are they wrapping up?
3:30. So as soon as blood drive is wrapped up, I think they said they had like 27 donors coming in, 26 or 27 donors. But they should be wrapped up, and then I have some AV assistants coming in, he's gonna get set up as soon as they're moved out, so fair game at that point.
I'd say last year worked, I might chat with you a little bit about some seating arrangement. just-
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it's not a regular election, but do you need any additional assistance from the select board in setup on Friday?
Do you have, what time is DPW gonna be looking to be leaving
No,
it
cause they're off on
for?
Fridays.
Oh.
So I'll be looking for potential assistance, I mean, we have to set up at least probably 100 chairs and the tables, the audience tables. So 4 o'clock and after it's game,
Okay.
whoever can show up would be wonderful.
Either.
My husband can come and I can tell him what to do.
You can.
That's what I do.
Sounds about right.
You can make sure all the rows are straight
You don't know me very well.
and the aisles are adequate.
Yes.
Bring a laser.
And we meet the fire code.
Yes. And our occupancy permit has been updated as of 2 weeks
Oh,
ago,
cool.
so we're good there.
Excellent.
Or our assembly permit, I should say, not occupancy permit.
I knew what you meant.
Is there anything else?
I think
That
so.
we
I
needed
feel
to
like
work
that
through?
was too easy, but.
It was too easy, I feel like.
Well, there's not as many warrant articles as there were.
There are
last year.
not, which is nice. Do we know how many pages we're looking at yet? Cause that is
72.
my,
72. Well, the ballot questions for the zoning
they're
ordinance,
short.
they're
Last
they're
year
short.
they
I
were-
made sure that they went onto the public hearing with a very short question, so those should only take up, I mean, there's 7 of them, those should only take
Yeah.
up like maybe a half or a third of the ballot.
If I do recall, those were like full pages almost, some of them last time, so yeah.
Yeah, that was very.
Yes, as Charlotte said, we have the new device. It is more capable. It actually can read all the write-ins and print them for me on a receipt at the end of the night, which is lovely,
Yeah.
but it of course is, reading that, you just have to be more, you really always had to put it in flat. People just sort of did it that way and it happened to take it a little bit flat, 1 page at a time.
Yeah, I hope it didn't misrepresent. I think it's the little signage part with the check or the little noise.
Which is nice because
It's nice. It's
really
gonna be
they weren't
wonderful.
supposed to jam them one after the other before and they would, which is why we got jams, cause even the old one had a little processing, but the biggest change is that box. There is no longer that flappy little thing in the middle that you have to
Jams?
like
Yes.
term just an eighth,
There's a
but
ton of
not
room
too
in there.
too much more to, so the write-ins actually, so it is reading the write-ins and putting them in a whole separate section, so we don't have to worry that. And
The trainer was
technically, we
great.
don't really have to put, we used to have to put eyes on every ballot just because the diverter would fail so often to look in case a write-in got missed, but that receipt gets printed now, which I imagine with town elections and all the votes Mickey Mouse gets, that might be incredibly long, but.
It's gonna be like a CVS receipt.
But it should, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to not be stressed every time I hear that funny clunk sound that my write-ins are falling into.
And you'll have to empty it so much less frequently and.
Yes, and so essentially the box is bigger in general, but almost that entire box is able to hold ballots now, and then there's just a section for write-ins, so I think there'll be a whole lot less emptying, which is something I don't love doing just cause, people see you pulling them out and moving them around, so.
Unless we get more people though. I mean, I know there's a potential for a lot of write-ins. If, you know what I mean, if you have 2 candidates for.
It's not a big deal if like everyone's writing in the same handful of people. It becomes a big deal when everyone thinks that it's, if I don't have anyone to put Mickey Mouse or anybody
And when they
but
go below the
her,
line,
or
that causes a problem. It was interesting to me.
Donald Duck, or write the same person in, that's when I think I'm gonna end up with, so, I always do try, I understand people would like to make sure their vote counts, and sometimes that's why they do it, but sometimes they're just doing it to be cute, and it's actually a lot of work for election workers, so I love to remind people that unless you're passionate about Mickey Mouse being
For Tom Brady, really.
Tom
should be the mayor. I
Brady
mean,
gets a lot of votes.
It's the years I've done ballot clerking,
Yes,
it's Tom Brady.
so,
For a flow standpoint, I know we had an issue, like, the temperature control, it was too hot and then it was too cold. We ended up people bundling up in jackets last year, but I think a lot of the issue is coming from people were coming in the side gym doors, so I think it would probably be best to flow the traffic through the front foyer coming in so they can check in with the supervisors of the checklist and maybe keep the gym entry accessible for exit only, or
I think that's only supposed to be a handicap entrance and
My
exit.
understanding, yeah, it's
and I
not
think we
supposed to be-
posted it that way, but
Yeah.
I think it was used
Getting
otherwise, so maybe if I
nonetheless,
can do better signage
No,
beforehand.
we really have needed an updating of signage in general.
I think so.
Signs are pretty decrepit as far as like handicap accessibility. I sometimes find myself penciling one last minute, so.
And honestly, if somebody drops $7,000 on the ground, you really could use another ballot machine.
I believe you budgeted for that for next year?
Well, we tabled it,
You
we're
tabled it.
hoping that potentially by the end of the first quarter, there could be enough money in the budget if the budget gets approved.
Yep.
Just based upon payroll.
And I think we might have a grant option again. They really are first they were trying to encourage everyone to buy how many ballot boxes and poll pads, but they really want, their goal is to get everyone on poll pads and eventually make the written checklist no more. So for now, we kind of have to keep both. They do expect that to disappear pretty soon, so I think there may be more grant money coming
That
up
would be nice.
too, probably equivalent to like what we got
Okay.
for the last one, so.
Yeah, I know John had mentioned that and we weren't sure. We knew that, the first round
Think.
had already been closed out. because that
And
was
they did end
24.
up giving us the ABS machine, Tim, you'll have to come learn a new machine. Well, you're leaving us, so maybe not, but
I know, but I'd love to set it up for the last time. I really would.
You're dying to.
Yes.
that will be new as well. I don't know if that's changed as much.
I think that's gonna be, it sounds like Lori's gonna try to do it either before business hours or after, so that
Yes.
is much easier than the 10:30 in the morning.
So that is now
Yes.
ours
On
to
Tuesday.
keep instead of trying to figure that out.
10:30 on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I think that'll make a difference too, that it's ours, cause I think we were always waiting for them to send it to us and then
Yeah.
test it, so, yeah. That should be.
And in my mind from that training, there was something that you weren't supposed to touch, and I can't remember what it was, but I just feel like
It
I'm
was a
gonna-
me, it was a
I'm
me
go-
thing.
I'm gonna, oh, good, because
It
I
was
feel
a me
like no
thing.
matter what it is, I'm gonna wanna touch it.
No, it was a me thing, it was the receipt.
The
That's
receipt, right,
yeah, I
right.
need to figure out something, there's some, says Dominion in a couple places, so I might put some signs.
Get some Nottingham
Training
logos
was good
made.
And you have a poll pad training coming up as well, that'd be nice.
Yes, so
Any
would
of us who
love
can
if
make it,
any of
right?
you are available, you can make it. I can certainly crash course you. It is very easy though, so I feel like it's kind of
What day was that again?
17th.
But it's 10:30 in the
10:30 in the
morning,
morning.
yeah.
And I will do a
Tuesday.
machine test with Lori. We typically try to do that about a week out, a little earlier if we can. We have to wait for the ballots to come back to us and the cards. But that would be a great opportunity for any of you to see the new machine in action as well. I will not take his advice this time and use the blocks. I think I wanna
Oh,
have the whole setup just till Lori and I get a little bit more used to
do
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna build fancy blocks for you.
Not for this one.
I thought it was fascinating. I didn't know how much I didn't know.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate
No,
that. It's,
absolutely. It's
important.
very interesting.
Yep.
Sure, I won't remember anything pertinent on the day.
It's always my
But I'll
fear
try.
too, and they made us an incredible picture book for operating the new devices, which is phenomenal because
Chart,
we
it's
get,
so
Lori
easy,
and I
it's
get
great.
like this packet of words. It's like a script and it's so convoluted and
This was really nice.
yeah, it was very nice. So
Thank you
thank you.
for coming in. See you on Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday.
take here.
What time do you want us here on Saturday morning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what time do you want them here?
For deliberative? I don't really need you early, I don't think, unless you have anything for
Okay.
setting up.
Yeah, we
so.
should have everything set up for the most part on Friday, so.
Okay.
I did go and look, the school board does 6 PM for their deliberative, I told you 6:30, so I don't know if we probably can't change it now to 6.
Oh,
I wasn't sure if it was
Oops.
6:30 or 6, but it's fine.
Okay.
It's here
So
or
we-
there.
which is it?
6 p.m.
Oh,
It's it's probably posted as 6:30.
It's-
I don't
it's
think
only
that matters, that's
posted-
not on the warrant, right?
No, it's only posted on the
so yeah,
website, so I
we
can
might
change
wanna-
Oh,
we
okay.
can change that,
Yeah.
maybe. Does that work, or is it easier for people with work to get there at 6:30 if we have to postpone?
if we had to postpone it to Monday.
There is snow coming this weekend, Joe seems
Oh.
to think it's
Predicted.
Saturday.
Saturday night,
not
Sunday. It looks like it's gonna
yeah.
be more Sunday than
I
Saturday,
think that's what
but
Joe said, he thinks it's Saturday
definitely not
and
Saturday
Sunday.
morning, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either, so I think we're fine, but yeah.
no mo.
Yeah, but that's a simple correction I can make.
I did have a question for you if you have 1 second. Are you guys gonna go into non?
We're going to non-public.
But
Thank you. And then there were a couple of other items. We had our annual write-up for the select board to go into the
Town report.
town report. I don't know if the select board had an opportunity to review.
Charlotte provided some feedback, which I incorporated into this document. I think she's the only one that gave me any. It was
Because it was perfect.
It was, and I took the credit, but it wasn't my credit to give, it was Tim that wrote the original, so.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
I read it originally, but I'm trying to see if I can find what was changed.
Third paragraph, lead was LEAD, we changed that to LED, and then it was something to do
Can't remember
with
myself.
the town administrator.
So it was like, you
Yeah,
didn't change structure, you just changed.
Yeah,
format.
yeah, it didn't change the
She
meaning or
reworded one
anything.
sentence in the second
Grammatical
paragraph.
and spelling.
I'm good.
So as long as that's good, Marion Friend Gray is helping to compile all of the town reports. She's actually working
Oh.
on the design build of the town report right now. Nancy's compiling everything and saving it into folders, and then Marion's shifting everything over to the format so we can get it incorporated into the book, so it's a team
Awesome.
effort this year,
Perfect.
yes.
And she plowed my driveway. She's amazing.
And then, so you were okay with the town report write-up?
Yeah.
As is?
Mhm.
Okay, and then as far as the dedication for he who shall not be named,
It was
or
very
she
nice.
who shall not be named, were there any recommended changes to that draft?
No, I think it looks good.
Okay, so the only thing I need to do is come up with a picture, so I'll reach out to some contacts I have in my back pocket to get a hold of those. Or a dedication picture.
Sounds good.
Nice.
One question I did have is from our meeting that you were not here for on January 5th.
I was supposed to find out about resource
Okay.
waste. Yes, and I have that on my desk and I have not called them to find out what the overall impact will be, so I'll add that to
Okay.
our Monday, February 2nd.
Thank you. So we do have a meeting coming up on Monday, February 2nd, and then our next meeting will not be on the 16th because that is President's Day, so our second meeting of the month will not be on the third Monday, but it will be the following Monday on February 23rd.
We'll have one final meeting before elections.
Yes. Any public comment? Anything to add? No. Okay. Well, we do have non-public for this evening.
You wanna say your spiel or do you want me to say my spiel first?
You can say your spiel.
Alright. Make a motion to move into non-public RSA 91-A:3, 2A, B, and E.
A motion
I'll second that,
and a second.
sorry.
Roll call vote.
Sleeping.
Aye, Matt Sherlin.
Aye, Tim DeBrio.
I, Charlotte Fife.
Motion carries. We'll move into non-public. We will come back out of non-public to close the January 27th select board meeting. There will be no more business conducted beyond this. Thank you, Nottingham. Have a good night.